Hello and welcome to an exclusive hour-long programme with me, Alex Belfield, talking to two international megastars. And I don't get to say that very often. It's always nice to talk to people who have changed the world musically. And Benny Andersson is one of these people. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Welcome to Stockholm.
It's so exciting to be in the place where you created this music. Do you feel playing your music is more interesting than talking about it?
You're right.
What type of a man are you? Are you a man that would rather have your music speak for you, or are you happy to do this?
I'm happy to talk to you. You know, it's very seldom actually one gets to talk about music, which is, for a good reason. It's quite difficult to talk about what's in it. And it's a boring thing to tell you about how it works, because it works the same. You know, I'm a sort of a 9 to 5 guy, or I'd say 10 to 5. And every song through the years has come up exactly the same way. It's like sitting at the piano, either me or Bjorn and I together during the ABBA days, and just waiting for something to come around and sort of pick it up when it flies by. I don't know how it works. If I knew, it wouldn't take so long, you know. But so people always ask us, well, can you tell me something about how Dancing Queen came up, or Fernando? It's always the same thing.
How much rubbish is there compared to the genius?
Well, I don't know if there's a genius, but it's a lot of, let's say it's a 95% rubbish. More. It's more than 95% to the good stuff. I did a calculation like a year ago, and I was trying to find out how many hours of music I have achieved during the years from 1966 or whatever it was when I started. And the calculation came out to like maybe 3 minutes a month. I never know if it's going to be a hit. I only know if I like it. And that's what I go by. Only that and nothing else. And if I'm unsure, like now, I have been working on my own now for, I don't know, 20 years. And I can often make up my own mind. I said, this is good stuff, let's work on this. If I'm hesitant, I would ask someone I trust to say, listen to this, have you heard this before? Someone else did this, or is it for real, you know? So, but it's really the process is getting rid of what's not talking to you. And why it is, and why I keep what I keep, I don't know.
And is it a case of tweaking? If you have a rubbish song, can you make it brilliant, or do you just have to throw it away and start again?
You can't make anything good out of rubbish, I think. Now, some people might say that everything that we do is sort of rubbish, but I don't feel that way. I think it's good stuff. Many other songs, some of them, I mean, obviously, they're not all good songs, thank God. So some old songs make me sort of blush a bit. But on the other hand, at the time, we thought that was okay. And at the time, in the beginning with ABBA, we didn't have time. We had 1 day a week in the studio, and we had to get things done, and we had to sort of release an album. And in the beginning, we had to squeeze in stuff that we maybe weren't that pleased with, but just in order to get things moving, you know.
Are there songs you're still excited to hear on the radio, or are you a bit tired of them all now?
When I work on stuff, you know, like in the middle of a process of a recording with my band, for example, or when I worked with the Mamma Mia soundtrack for the movie, it's constantly on. In the studio, in the car, at home, to be in the process, not to sort of let anything sort of slip out the window without sort of taking notice of it. And but after that, once it's done, once it's in the can and it's sort of a CD exists, it disappears for me. I never listen to it again.
All right, we'll take a piece of music and we'll be back with Benny Andersson. We're going to find out about your life and career and what you're doing today, because it's as interesting what you're doing now as you did in the 70s. The difference is the 70s stuff is still being played everywhere as much as your new stuff. We're going to find out why later on in the programme. We'll be back with Benny Andersson next. We're back on your favourite local radio station talking to the stars of ABBA, and the stars really are the guys that wrote it and put it together, but there's only 50% of the group still talking about it. Do you wish the girls still had a voice and wanted to talk about it? They've kind of gone away from it and said ABBA's in the past.
Well, ABBA is in the past. I tried really, really hard to sort of put that behind me, but when Mamma Mia happened, it was unavoidable. I mean, all of a sudden it all it all was around ABBA and the old records and the Mamma Mia thing. So it's been impossible to avoid. But I think you can talk to the girls. It's just a matter of sort of getting hold of them, you know. One's out there somewhere and one is living here in Stockholm. I don't think that they're reluctant to talk about the old days.
And when you see the videos of you guys then, or hear those ABBA records on the radio now, does it seem like a different person?
I feel the same. I don't even feel older though I am, you know. It's no, it feels all right. It's like we were putting on something occasionally, like clothes, to sort of just to make a little splash, you know. Apart from that, no, I think it's most of the stuff is okay. Most of it, not all of it.
How do you stay humble today? Because there isn't a place in the world where your music hasn't been or is not still currently being played. There aren't that many artists that could be current 30 years after they release their songs.
Well, I'm not that humble, but I think it helps if you realize that why this all happens is it's pure luck, because it's a gift, right? Being able to choose good stuff from bad stuff, trying to write music, and at the same time being on the same level as an audience. That's pure luck. Talent is luck. The rest is hard work. So I'm proud of the hard work, which is not like working in the coal mine, but it's still, it's as we spoke about earlier, it takes a long time to achieve something good. And for that I'm proud, and that's why I'm not so humble. But when it comes to the talent that has been put on me and all the other guys, that's pure luck, and there's nothing to brag about.
It's interesting, because if you think of songs like Dancing Queen or Mamma Mia, they could become very cheesy and be just played as a joke. Did you ever worry about that? Because you make fun of your own music in Mamma Mia, the stage show, and the movie, of course, but it's still a great tune. And you talk about the look. I think luck will only take you so far in getting played repeatedly.
Well, we always thought we did good stuff. Nothing cheesy about that, you know. We did exactly what we wanted to do. Now, what you refer to as a sort of could be cheesy must have to do with the lyrics. Has nothing to do with the music as such. Don't you agree? And I've never been involved in writing lyrics. I only care for the music itself. And as long as the lyric sits together with the music nicely, fine with me. I don't care if it's called Mamma Mia or Fernanda or Dancing Queen or whatever, as long as it sort of runs along with what the melody is, you know. And no, I must say that we were and are really sincere about the stuff that we've been writing, and very proud of it.
All right, we'll come back next with more from Benny Andersson. We're going to ask next, what makes a good tune? We're back with Benny Andersson on your favourite local radio station, talking to the star of ABBA, the man who sat down at the piano and created Dancing Queen and Mamma Mia, Thank You for the Music, and all these great tunes that everybody can sing. That's where I think you're a genius. You write tunes that people who are not musical can remember.
What do you want me to say? I don't know. I don't know why it is a good tune. I know that I think it's a good song. You know, I'd say, this is good. This does not exist. It has identity, and I like it. Well, there's no recipe. If there was one, I mean, it would be an easy task, wouldn't it? It's not. It's just a matter of sort of trying to use what you've been given to make good choices, and never give up. And don't give away stuff that does not rhyme with that doesn't rhyme with what I feel. You know. That would be a disaster, because then you have nothing to hang on to. If you know you like the stuff, you know that there's something about it that make you sort of release it at all. If you're doing guesswork, you're in deep, man.
And as for hearing the ABBA songs on the radio now, is it still as much of a thrill hearing them talked up as they were 30 years ago?
I think some of them sounds pretty good to be so old, you know. And I think it has. I mean, we spend a lot of time in the studio, which many other bands did too. And Michael Tretto was a great sound engineer, and we never gave up until we were all happy, the three of us, Michael and Bjorn and myself, and that pays off today. I think some of the recordings are really good. I think a song like "Knowing Me, Knowing You" or "Dancing Queen."
It's interesting, "Knowing Me, Knowing You," when you look at Alan Partridge, and he made that song popular with his Aha. Yeah. Is that a compliment?
I think so. I think it's fun, you know. I haven't seen that show. I'm a foreigner, you know.
But you've heard about it.
I heard about it, yeah. You know, did someone tell you about when we had the first preview of Mamma Mia? When Sam is singing "Knowing Me, Knowing You" to Sophie, they decided, the director and whoever said, let's take the ahas away. You know, "Knowing Me, Knowing You." So the ahas was taken away from the show and when the first preview came, he came to the chorus and he was singing "Knowing Me, Knowing You," and the audience went, "Aha." So we put it back in.
And it's still there today. All right, we're going to take a piece of music. We'll take that one, "Knowing Me, Knowing You," here on your favourite local radio station. We're back with Benny Andersson on your favourite local radio station. You're musical, and that's not surprising, because when I read your biog, Dad was a musician and Granddad was a musician, and you were surrounded by the accordion and how to play instruments, and that led to the piano, did it?
Yes, it did. I was taught to play the accordion. Well, my father and grandfather just did it for fun. They were not professional musicians. And I had one when I was 6, and I was obviously a good learner. So when I was on my 10th birthday, my parents bought a piano for me and my sister. And I used it, you know. You can play the accordion, you can play the piano, and you use your left hand like you do with your bass side on the accordion. And from there, I just kept on working. I think that's the trick, though. You know, so if you have a talent, if you realize, I don't think when you're so young, you don't know. You just feel that this is fun. This is what I want to do. So I was sitting at that piano hours and hours every day. And I'm still sitting at the piano every day for hours and hours since I was 10. And I think if you do that, something good must come out of it. And I think it goes for every good musician, every composer, everyone. If you start really early, and if you are in the middle of the thing of music and you enjoy that, something good comes out of it.
How much is down to hard work, and how much is an energy that comes to you from somewhere else?
Oh, it's a tricky thing, that, isn't it? I wonder what it is, because the thing is that when it happens, I know what it is, but I can't make it happen unless I sit there for hours and hours playing, letting my hands go, trying to hear something that I haven't heard before, that is sort of has some value. And I don't know what it means when it happens. I don't know how it works. I think if you ask any other good songwriter, he or she would say exactly the same thing. You can ask a painter or a writer, they would say the same thing. It's something that comes out of sitting there, waiting for it to happen, working on waiting for it to happen.